This is the one with the Angelic Oddjobs.
Mrs. Bucket's husband.
It's bouquet.
And handicap shaming.
It's called The Voyage of the Damned.
Here we go.
We're still on our endless voyage, all through time and all through space.
With Levine and Angels now, Daleks, Cybers, and wow!
Tennant, Smith and Eccleston, Gallifrey, where it all began.
Doctor Who is cool again, that was Russell's master plan.
Who back when? Reviewing all new Who there is. Who back when?
Subscribe and rate on iTunes, please.
Rose and Donna, Amy Pond, Rory, Martha and beyond. Join us on this odyssey, what other choice could there be than Who back when? Who back when?
Okay, so hello, welcome to Who Back When. I am the Rawmeister.
Yes, you are.
Can't believe I called myself the Rawmeister. What have you done to me?
Oh, I'm sorry. Who are the
Who's
rest
this
of us?
sitting next to me?
Why, it's me, Drew Back When, Podcast Land.
I thought you were called Drubaloobs.
I am absolutely not called Drew Baloobs.
That's right,
yeah,
Drewby.
you hate that, Drubaloobs.
Don't let him call you that.
Sorry, Drubaloobs.
Droobs. And I'm Ponkin. Hi,
Is it because
everyone.
it sounds like droopy boobs? Is that the issue?
Well, maybe.
Now that
yes.
you say it.
I hadn't made that connection before.
Well,
Why are we here at all? Sorry,
I'm looking to Ponkin for
I
an
didn't mean
answer.
that to be such an existential question. I just meant, what are we reviewing today?
In answer to your question, Droobs, today we are
Better.
today we are reviewing The Voyage of the Damned, or The V of the D.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why am I the only one smiling?
Or the N042. N042.
Oh, I see.
Sorry.
I
This
prefer
is
mine.
awful.
It's the Christmas special from what year?
97.
2007.
Bollocks.
You had one digit right.
Well done.
And this is the highest rated episode of New Who to date.
Are you fucking
What?
kidding me?
No, I am
Really?
not. More people watched this episode than the 50th, than the first Capaldi, the first Rose.
Wait,
It's
hang
the
on,
first
so
year
first
where there
Tennant.
wasn't an Only Fools and Horses on.
So you're saying...
Quite possibly.
So when you say this is the highest rated, what you mean is it had the most viewers. It's not necessarily the most popular episode.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
That makes much more sense.
Yeah, agreed. Even though I kind of liked it.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine anyone calling that. If you showed that to me, like, this is the best fucking episode of this show you'll ever
Yeah,
see.
not buying that, not for a second.
Yeah.
Well, good, because that's not what I was saying.
Shall we jump into Bite-Sized Chunk of Who?
Let's.
Let's.
After the surprise entrance of the Titanic, the Doctor somehow undoes the damage, and joins the festivities in the ballroom.
There he meets Astrid Peth, played by Kylie Minogue, a real toff-up of a waitress who totes ASAP, makes Doc stick muy caliente.
Also staffing the ship are angelic robots who appear to be experiencing software issues just as the Titanic orbits the Earth on Christmas Day, with its nuclear storm engines ready to blow.
Be scow over, you are welcome.
That was very Christmassy. This is the episode immediately following the departure of Martha Jones
Yes.
as the regular companion. Martha Jones, whom he discarded for a year of our time. Who knows how many years of their time? And he suddenly meets a new companion.
Or a new potential.
Potential companion. Yeah, sorry, you're right. A new potential companion. Two-part question. A, how would you rate her compared to Martha, given that she only has one episode to do to sort of achieve the heights that Martha achieved? And B, how do you rate his reaction to her, like his embracing of a potential new companion?
Well, I've only seen one episode featuring Martha, and she was in it less than Kylie was in this one, so I don't have too much to compare. I feel I have to by default say Kylie, because I really can't remember the 5 seconds Martha was on screen in Blink, which is the other episode of this that I've seen. So
That's a fair argument, actually.
yeah, I mean, I enjoyed her. I assumed she was going to be dead by the end of the episode once she was kind of making it clear she wanted a companion, because being Kylie Minogue. Cut that out.
No, do that. The rest of the episode, that voice.
I assumed she probably wasn't going to become a regular on the show.
Oi, noi.
What was the other question?
Well, okay, so what boggles my mind, not boggles, actually, I find it incredibly understandable, is that he has had a whole year of our time of this companion who's constantly flirting with him and just doing stuff and going on adventures with him and whatever. And then she leaves him, she dumps him, and then he just bumps into Kylie Minogue, who gives him a kiss, and he immediately goes into Boner Town and just like, yeah, I'm very happy for you to travel with me. We have great chemistry, and yeah, of course I'd travel with people.
Well, it's Kylie Minogue.
Yes!
Well, this episode plays out in real time, so he's saying all this half an hour after Martha has given her second awkward goodbye. Half an hour!
Oh my god, you're right.
Yeah.
That makes it makes it worse, but it makes him so much cooler. He's like the Stifler of the universe.
I think you have to watch this with reference to Smith & Jones, Martha's first episode, because the first half of both episodes, you need to establish with the companion early that they are up for adventure and they have a sense of wonder and a sense of potential that the Doctor can see. And Martha and Kylie demonstrate that in slightly similar ways. You know, Martha doesn't bat an eyelid at being on the moon. She's excited by it. Kylie went into space to see new skies and so forth.
She didn't bat an eyelid at the Earth.
No, not really. While everyone else was screaming to a totally justifiable level, Martha was being intelligent. And she's got a slightly different defining characteristic. She seems to be caring and compassionate. And he even seems to reawaken this in the Doctor.
But reawaken it after half an hour, as you say.
Yes.
Do you think all he actually intended to do on this voyage was, like, chill out in the ballroom saying Happy Christmas to people and, like, chatting to the, you know, steerage type people?
Well, he never intended to rock up here, really.
But once he was there, that seemed to be his game plan.
It took him, 5 seconds to jump into a tux?
Yeah.
Yeah. Once he's patched up the shields, he could just bugger off. You know, it's a standard shield breach. He reverses that, he goes, but no. Yeah, he is here to party.
He didn't head for the bar, which is what do you do when you get to a party?
But also, how often do you see the Doctor drink?
Yeah, he's probably proof against all but pan-galactic gargle blasters. 800 years, he's had the tolerance of a mountain. But the other thing I was going to say about Martha versus Kylie as a companion is Martha, you have to set up the season.
The longevity of her run.
So immediately in that first episode she had to become stupid and swoon over the Doctor, and then we sort of dealt with the fallout of that over the rest of the season. As you say, pining for the Doctor, whereas Kylie...
She's free to be a manic pixie dream girl if she so wishes, which she's not in this, but she's, you know...
Yeah, and because she's only in this one episode, we don't have to groan under the weight of the companion we wanted for a season. We get to have this very neat, very brief thing, and so there's no lingering disappointment there.
We'll come back to groaning under the weight later because there's all fat shaming in this episode.
Yes.
Another parallel between this and Smith & Jones. There is a kiss between the Doctor and his would-be companion in both episodes. He kisses Martha in Smith & Jones only to transfer some of his DNA onto her so that she'll fail the alien scan thingy. Or the human scan, rather.
Bullshit! Carry on.
What you think that he did
that was a bullshit excuse.
Well,
you mean like, oh, no, he was just trying to rape her mouth, basically, is what you're saying, because he gives her a very different explanation. Whereas, and in that episode anyway, like, he kisses her, he presses his lips against her, and there is zero romance. She takes it to be like, oh my goodness, he's the best kisser ever. But he does not give a toff, and then just runs off. In this one, she kisses him, and he swoons.
Well, dispassionate kisses are the best. I don't know this to be true.
God, it's so sad.
It's all the thrill of a kiss, but still leaves you longing for real love.
Yeah.
That yearning is still there. It's not fulfilled in any way.
Anticipation is everything, so let's just have that forever.
Yeah.
Okay, so what other characters on this cruise do we have that we need to bring up?
Well, my first thought is of dickhead fuck the plebs, the business.
Oh, for toff's sake.
Yeah, oh, for toff's sake.
Which was a wonderful line. The Billy Zane of this
Titanic
original
cruise
story.
Yeah.
Yes.
The original story is the one and only Titanic story.
Yes.
Billy Zane was aboard the Titanic, don't you know? Yeah, there is him, but I mean, did you recognize him? Is he a recognizable actor?
He looked familiar. I couldn't place him.
Yeah?
I thought he was the only one in this cast who didn't look familiar.
Yeah.
Because you have Richard from Keeping Up Appearances, and you have
Bernard Cribbins.
Bernard Cribbins!
Bernard Cribbins, whom you've encountered before, Rory.
You need to explain this person
Yes,
to me,
so-
because I don't remember who this is.
Do you remember the policeman in the second Peter Cushing movie? That was Bernard Cribbins.
Right. I barely remember, but sure.
That guy. One of the
was he
main
in
characters. He was the old guy selling newspapers.
Oh. Okay. Didn't recognize
And
him.
he will return later on, correct me if I'm wrong. He returns and is, I think, officially a companion of the Doctor's because he travels around with him, doesn't he?
I thought he was Donna Noble's granddad.
Oh, yes, yeah, you're right. He is Donna Noble's granddad. You're right.
Yeah, and he has a massive influence on Tennant's ultimate fate.
Oh.
Yes, we'll get to that.
Oh, we will.
Land. Yeah, you've got a couple of other extras here who you may have seen elsewhere. Midshipman Frame is
I hate him.
being human, and him
Someone please tell this guy, stop acting.
Well, just act a little less. He was trying to out-scream David Tennant. You're on a hiding to nothing there, boy.
But even in the scene where, you know, everything is muted, or like we only hear the dramatic music and he's just screaming, but we can't hear him. Even there, like he can't even act convincingly when he's muted. I don't even believe it.
I feel bad. I feel I should defend him, but
Do it.
I don't know if I can. I just, whenever anything I've seen him in, I've just generally not had any kind of vibe. Like, just just this guy again. Is
Oh, God, I
pretty
really
much,
need to tone that
that's
down,
pretty
don't
much
I?
the entire range of my emotion here. It's like, hey away. I mean, I'm
really sorry, Russell,
I'm
but,
offering
like,
in a paltry
God.
defense. I'm sorry, I haven't even seen everything you've been in. I haven't seen lots of things.
I loved being human, but I mean, he overacted as much in that as he did in this one episode.
Yeah, this guy's a paperweight in every sense. He weighs everything down, and yet the depth of his acting is wafer thin. You see right through him. So anyway, you've also got Foon Van Hoff.
Oh, yes.
She's Annie from The Smoking Room. Anyone seen The Smoking Room?
That's...
No.
Yes,
What's
I knew
that?
I recognised her. I would not have got...
What's the smoking room?
It's a
Why are you so suddenly interested in this?
Oh, God, a whole show devoted to
every
smoking.
episode is a bottle episode set in the smoking room, essentially.
Yeah. You're always teased by thinking, we're going to see outside. You
It's like
never
the
see
bastard
outside.
child of the royal family in The Office.
Yeah.
Starring Robert Webb.
Yeah. And it's good. Been around for 2 series.
Oh,
Two.
wow. Okay.
And Jeffrey Palmer, he's been in everything.
Who is Jeffrey Palmer?
He's the captain.
Oh.
And he's been in And Time Goes By and various Bond films.
Reginald
and
Perrin.
Yeah.
Wait, various Bond films?
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think.
Who
I
does he
can't-
play?
He plays a hawkish British military sort of figure.
As he does in everything he's in, but yes.
Yeah. Sort of avuncular menace is his MO.
That's in Reggie Perrin where he plays avuncular buffoonery.
Yeah. Oh, great word, Rory.
Not as good as avuncular.
What do you mean buffoonery? Anyone else?
I think we're done.
Who plays the bad guy, Max?
Yeah,
I
he
felt
looks
like I
familiar,
recognised
yeah.
him. Shall I IMDb him?
Do it.
I'm IMDbing him.
In the meantime, anyone know who played Annie from the Smoking Room's husband? Because he looked vaguely familiar.
Ponkin, get on that.
Okay, so Foon Van Hoff was played by Debbie Chazen?
Yeah, you're looking for Morvin Van Hoff.
Oh, I thought we were looking for her first. Sorry. But hang on, can I just say, she has been, she was on Sherlock as well, which is a little bit of overlap in production teams, though I suppose that's valid for everything that's on the BBC. Max Capricorn was played by, hold your horses, you are not going to believe who plays him. George Costigan. Who the shit is George Costigan?
My God, I have no idea who that is.
He was in Calendar Girls
Oh, yes.
as something, and I can't
Oh, yeah,
remember.
Mr. Something, yeah.
Oh, he was in 54 episodes of Emmerdale.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
Great.
Who was he playing in that?
He played Charlie Haynes.
No idea who that is. For a minute, I thought it was Eric Pollard, but no.
Do you watch
I
Emmerdale?
used to. Many years
Goodness.
ago.
All right. Wow.
It was funny,
I'm glad you changed.
I think.
Yeah, he switched to Holly for a while.
And then just Kardashian repeats, wall to wall.
Morvin Van Hoff was played by Clive Robe, who's, well, I'm also not recognizing, he doesn't even have a photo on IMDb. He was in Evermore, The Kennedys as David Palmer, and appropriately on a TV show called So Awkward. Bingo bongo.
Can we go back to the beginning?
We can. Shall we step back in time?
Ooh.
Yes. Oh, nice. I see what you did there.
Ugh.
Yes, anyway. The theme has changed.
Yes.
Now instead of it's and then the episode starts.
And it's even more out of sync than it used to be.
Really?
It is so out of sync now. No one
it's
cares
supposed
about
to.
this but me. I've brought it up a million times on the
I
show.
think this is something only you can see.
No, I swear to God, this is I will.
I want
I'm
to
sure-
watch this afterwards. And
We're doing this.
Who else has ever
And
mentioned
then we're getting
this?
drunk. I wonder if maybe we can get in touch with this dude. This is a total tangent from Via the D, but there's a YouTube video in which one guy, this fantastic Whovian, has has literally analyzed every single Doctor Who opening credits theme or credit sequence up until whenever that YouTube video was released. And I think maybe it was released during Tennant time. But he also brings up the out of sync thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So it is I mean, it's a thing. I'm sure you can Google. Shall I Google it now?
No.
All right. Shall we get back to Via the D?
Yeah. They're using cellos instead of violins. Everything's a bit more intense.
Ah.
Yes. Also, RTD wrote this one.
Oh, nice.
You never mentioned that.
I didn't even read the writing credit.
So does the theme change again after this? Do they move to bass?
I don't know.
That'd be awesome.
It'd be classy.
Was the animation different in any way? Because every now and then they do a slightly different one for the Christmas episodes. Like in the Capaldi ones, they have baubles instead of planets. And in one of the Matt Smith ones, I remember they had snowflakes instead of stars.
I think it's still all the same at this
Is it?
point.
Okay.
Yeah, they're really tight for budget.
They spunked it all on...
Animating giant letters saying, starring Kylie Minogue.
I was about to say they spunked it all on Kylie Minogue, and I stopped myself mid-sentence there. Right, next up.
Oh, yes. Next up, people are dancing at the beginning. I just wanted to say that a musician is playing an inaudible sax, the hardest to hear of all the instruments.
That's a great observation.
But this leads me
that.
in to a later performance where someone is singing a Christmas song that I have never heard outside of this episode.
Ooh, which one was it?
The one, the American, as in, it's an American singer, isn't it?
I don't know. I mean, British people can sing in an
American accent, yeah, sure.
accent. But I don't know. I get the feeling it was, RTD's third cousin hoping to have a Christmas hit. And it was definitely Christmassy. There were Christmas-themed
It felt
lyrics.
super Christmassy.
But never heard it before or since when not watching this episode.
Do you think Kylie was offended that they didn't ask her to sing?
Oh my goodness! That's so obvious.
He's probably released 4 Christmas albums.
Okay, shall we move on to the fat shaming, handicap shaming, and so on and so forth?
Oh, the ragtag bunch of lovable misfits.
Yeah.
That we're going to shame.
Who are picked off one by one until the least interesting is left.
Well, they were picked on and then they were picked off.
Very true. Yeah, so we have this large couple who are implied to be, well, we are told are both poor and fucking stupid and remorselessly gluttonous. I feel like this is a little bit, not the most PC thing I've ever seen.
Well, I mean, counter to that.
Well, I
is that
squeeze some working class fatties in there in ill-fitting purple suits. Sorry, I totally cut you off there, Drew. Go for it.
No, it's a good point, because they do say, they think we should be in steerage between scarfing down enormous gobfuls
of buffalo wings in a fancy ballroom.
Because stupid people,
But I would say they do have a voice, such as it is in this episode. They do make comebacks, they stand up for themselves, and they are also sort of advanced roboticians.
Yeah, they're very...
robotics.
They're clearly the most intelligent of the entire, the little fellowship.
I don't know if they're implied to be intelligent so much as just manually skilled. Like, they're implied they work on these robots in the factory they work in or something, but it's just like...
Oh, so you're saying, basically they're on the Ford's line.
I would say they're implied to be, low-level mechanics, mate, or something like that. I do think the episode did sort of... It didn't just shame, it also made you sort of like the characters. We have that nice...
Him in particular, I feel.
Yeah, the where he reacts surprisingly well to learning that she's spunked all their money on this flight of death. And, and she gets a moment of saving everyone, that kind of thing. All that stuff was nice. And I would say, at best, balances all the horrible stuff.
The horrible stuff, I think, can be divided into horrible stuff said by characters we don't like, specifically what's-his-face, Billy Zane, and horrible stuff said by the Doctor, who is our hero, our protagonist for 50-plus years. The line that he says, the handicap shaming line, the one where he goes if you had a back. It's like, this dude is effectively in a wheelchair and you're making fun of his lack of a functioning spine.
This is Max Capricorn.
Yeah, I felt that was very out of place.
Yes. I didn't pick up on that initially, as the guy had revealed himself as irredeemably evil, and also, he was a human being at one point, presumably with a functioning back. He has chosen to insert himself into this.
I'm not so sure he has. I mean, he's been running the company for 172 years, so he's doing this to stay alive.
Yeah, he was like, it takes its toll on you.
Yeah.
And I thought that was...
It doesn't matter. Fine, so he's the bad guy, but then maybe make fun of his lack of morality rather than his lack of a spine.
Well, I would
It was a
argue
cheap
that
shot.
It was,
But
yeah.
As was, though, I think it was meant to be a Poseidon side adventure reference where Foon is worried she can't squeeze through the hole, and Richard from yes, we'll glide over that. And Richard from Keeping Up Appearances said, "Don't worry, of course you can." I'll go first. That did make me hurt, only because I was laughing at what a dickhead he was, obviously.
Just to hop on about wheelchair shaming,
Yeah.
because we all need to hear more about that, is that, more about me just defending it, is that I would argue that the guy's lack of morality led to his lack of spine. There are people
was
who
at least a metaphor for it.
It's like he's...
Yes. Indeed. And maybe that's why it didn't register the first time around.
Maybe. It's iffy.
I feel like this guy was more in a wheelchair than, let's say, Davros. Like, Davros has sacrificed his humanity. This guy didn't have much humanity even when he was 100% biological,
No.
Either way, the parallel that I drew was with, have you guys seen that awful Will Smith film, Wild Wild West?
Oh, yes.
Where the bad guy is in a wheelchair?
Kenneth Branagh.
Exactly, played by Kenneth Branagh. And there's a scene in which Kenneth Branagh is being a super racist towards Will Smith, and Will Smith is countering it, not with morality, but with handicap jokes. Like, every single comeback is, yeah, but you're in a wheelchair. It's like, that doesn't really work for me.
That was very much Will Smith's modus operandi for quite a while.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, it was his whole character in The Fresh Prince seemed to be making
Make fun
jokes
of people.
that.
Yeah. Okay.
As best I remember it. Well, it just mostly seemed to be... I don't know.
I can't profess to be a Will
I'm trying
Smith
to drag
expert
some
either,
memories of The Fresh Prince out of my head, but I feel like he was just mostly making fun of anyone who was slightly less awesome than him.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Whatever.
We also had Jeffrey Palmer's character who was, who'd been paid off because he was dying to lead the ship into this
asteroids,
situation.
whatever, yeah.
There's sort of a whole... I feel this is like referencing a trope of characters who are dying and feel the need to take everyone down with them, but also are doing it as a nice thing for other people. Are they like, does Saw do something like that? I don't know. Or
well, his motivation seemed really odd.
Well, no, he was like... He's
going to get money for his family.
He's going to die anyway, so he's getting a load of money to do this. He'll go to his family. That's relatable.
Sure. And then he goes, they promised me only old sailors or whatever. It's
yeah.
It's like, no young people. But then he sees Russell Tovey, immediately goes, oh, but you're Russell Tovey, shoots him in the guts. But he does kind of regret it at first. Like, he's like, I didn't want to take any young people down with me. But he's
not changing his mind at this point.
But he's also, like, how many young people are on board the ship? Like,
yeah, he can't control that, though. He did his best.
Well, what do you mean? Like,
well, maybe he only gives a fuck about sailors.
Well, let's say that he doesn't.
He only wants the old sailors to die, like young sailors.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only credible theory.
What it is because only the super richest can afford to go on this cruise, so of course they're going to be old magnates.
Awful people.
That's
who
true.
Spent decades building up their enormous wealth.
What about the Kylie Minogues on board the ship?
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
She should have been an elderly crone.
True. But yeah, he's been having, Billy Zane at his captain's table every night for the entire voyage. Like, you can understand willingness to take these people.
Oh, I got a question, because the whole Kylie Minogues of the ship thing.
Yes.
So Kylie Minogue is waiting staff, and as far as I'm aware, at least the only one that we meet, I think, the only person...
The only French maid on the ship.
Yeah. Hot, by the way. But why do that when you have robot angels who are, like, your servants?
Possibly because they are piss useless.
Well, why have both? Why not have one or the other?
Well, because then the rich people don't feel like they're lording it over anyone. This automated technology, this doesn't give me the thrill of oppression.
Would you really want to be constantly dealing with fucking robots that say information at the start of everything they fucking say? What if you ask them to get you a drink? Do they say drink?
Slavery?
Like, yes.
Servitude? Here's your drink.
Tangent, by the way. Why is there this fucking show and evil angel things, by the way?
Oh, you're right.
Just because in the grand sum of episodes I've done recently, they've had an iteration of an evil angel as the villain. Someone cut me off, please, because I don't know what I'm saying.
That's true. No, that's
You're
super
our
true.
evil angel go-to guy.
Yeah.
So why did they look like angels, aside from the obvious fact that this was the Christmas episode?
It's a weird design choice from the people who are like, we need the perfect slave for the ship. Angel.
Yeah.
You know.
But angels who are mythical creatures from some distant planet that we know very little about.
If they all look like Kylie, it would be more convincing somehow.
But they look like Crichton crossed with Emperor Nero.
Why were the robot angels different height, by the way?
Oh.
Yeah.
To add the slightest modicum of diversity amongst them.
Yeah. But not in terms of skin colour.
No,
They're all
just
gold.
slightly different heights, all identical looking other.
But none of them are only 2'6",
No.
or however tall. What's his name, Leon?
Do you mean Balakafalata?
I do. Have you been practicing that like Raxacorico Fallopatorian? Which you break out every episode. Is this your new Raxacorico Fallopatorian?
What, Damn it!
When the heat's on. We talk about him.
Yeah, sure. Shall we bring up the whole cyborg thing? The cyborg issue. People are ashamed of being cyborgs. Why does their people... Wait, hang on, wait. Where are they from?
Planet Stowe.
Stowe. Are they humans?
Oh, and they're away!
Yes!
Oh! That just hit me as well!
Yeah, when he whispers to Kylie, I'm a stowaway, she should have just gone, well, yes, we all are. What the fuck's wrong with you?
That's not a very good French accent.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Are they aliens or are they humans from some distant colony?
They seem to be... They called themselves aliens at one point, didn't they?
Yeah?
Yeah.
They're not humans. They would have some knowledge or kinship with this utterly alien to them planet
Yeah,
down
so
below.
in that case, don't you feel like they really I agree with you. Don't you feel like they really ham-fisted all of the Christmas references and all of the the Earth references?
Well, it seems strange that they were sort of having Christmas songs playing, Christmassy, sparkly-looking ship sculpture that looked a bit like the Blue Peter logo, and like a whole... They had all this and yet clearly didn't understand what Christmas was.
No, they had no idea.
That seems strange.
They named it after the Titanic because it was a famous ship, but they didn't know what it was famous for. They have angels, which probably mean nothing to them and their religion or mythologies or whatever. They are going to Earth, where somehow they have obtained antique Earth garments. Billy Zane is wearing an antique Earth suit.
Yeah.
How? How did that happen? How did that work?
Without gathering any knowledge along the way.
Exactly. And presumably they've been to Earth before, right? They must have gone there.
Yeah. I'll tell you why. Because it was funny.
Yeah.
I liked the whole us eating the Turks, or the turkeys. I thought that was... Not because I would like to eat a Turkish person. But I just thought that there was some humour in that line of mischief.
Yeah, okay. All right, fine. I was missing an ounce of realism. I hate to be that guy. But I was missing some kind of sci-fi explanation for, just to connect them to the Earth. Or if they're aliens, then make them green or whatever.
Well, it was interesting that it was such a shocker that you'll have to say his name for me.
Barakafalata?
Turned out to be a cyborg.
Yeah.
It's interesting that they didn't go with like someone who's a little more like human looking. Turns out to be the surprise cyborg. They go with someone who's already very, and I mean because of his big spiky red face, not because he's very small. By the way, I just want to make that very clear.
Yeah.
Although they add that in as well.
Okay.
They pick the smallest actor they can find and give him a spiky red face.
Yes.
And then make his being a cyborg
The surprising
problem.
thing, yeah, which I don't know if that's really clever and progressive in a way, or just fucking, I don't know. It's a strange, interesting
On like
choice.
a BBC level, isn't it kind of progressive?
I'd like to
Doesn't
think
that
that this
sort of
was an
make up for all the other
intentional
shit?
thing. No, it doesn't. But like, it's a step on the road, maybe.
I just want to say that we talked about Jeffrey Palmer already, but I thought he chopped
Which one was that again?
the captain.
Oh, right.
I thought he delivered lines full of omen and foreboding.
Silent night.
He does more acting with his jowls than any other scene. It's quite remarkable.
Those jowls are rather trained.
Like, I know he's in Bond, like, I can only picture his face doing complete same expression, but it works. He's really good at that one thing.
Yeah. Absolutely. I would say also that I was expecting not to like this episode.
Okay.
Because I've heard from various channels, ultimately from JD, that it was awful. But I found myself getting further and further through the episode, and okay, near the end, as with most specials of Doctor Who, there is an inevitable downturn. But I found myself thinking, this is great. The music is okay to good. The editing, rather than being flashy, is actually enhancing.
Oh, wow, I disagree with you.
To a certain point. For the first 20 minutes, I thought every shot is somewhat necessary. It gets worse as it goes along.
It gets, I think, you may be right, like, up until the point when she is about to sacrifice herself.
In the forklift truck.
Yeah, from that point on, the editing really takes a downturn.
There was a point fairly early on, like pretty much when the action kicks in, when I felt like I'm watching a trailer. It was something about the way it was edited. I don't know, like a certain concise.
Was it cutting between every single character? Because they did
Maybe
that
so,
a few
yeah.
times.
I don't
They're like,
know.
we have to keep
It's like character
tabs on
explosion
everyone.
character, and it just felt like it was, I don't know, condensing in the.
Yeah, and in a 75-minute episode, which we haven't mentioned, this is half an hour longer
Than most episodes, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe this accounts for the shitty editing towards the end. Do you think that maybe they actually had this, 75-minute time slot to fill on Christmas Day, I guess, whenever this was aired?
Yep.
And they didn't quite have 75 minutes worth of footage or, episode. So towards the end, they just stretched shit out. Or possibly they got a song that they needed to edit to, and the song was too long, so they just stretched shit out.
Or the finale with the Doctor and Mr. Bucket was extremely drawn out.
Super drawn out. But also, like, when she sacrifices herself, there are so many slow motion scenes. There's the actual slow motion of her driving towards him, the two, like, wheelchair versus forklift. The forklift, by the way, I got Alien vibes. Like
Yes,
Ripley
Aliens.
Alien, sorry, yeah, you're right. Ripley in that, whatever, forklift suit. So lots of slow motion there. When she falls, lots of slow motion. We see Tennant just growling at the camera.
Oh god, that went on forever.
And then that terrible slow motion scene where he's walking and there's like fire and explosions behind him. Like his dick has never been heavier and more cumbersome. Like he is such a dude.
I couldn't believe they thought those shots were good enough to stretch out the way they did. You want to glide by that.
They might have been good enough if they had used one shot for just a few seconds, but they had, there must be like 20 seconds of him in slow motion with flames behind him.
And sort of spaghetti western, the man with no name music, just crescendoing in the background. He may as well have been walking on fucking water.
I thought the initial...
I might cut that into the John Wick trailer, by the way. Anyway, yeah, sorry, go for it.
I was just going to say, I thought the initial sequence on Earth was kind of shoot.
Oh, you need cribbins. Where is you going to get your cribbins?
Yeah, well,
your daily dose of cribbins.
I did. That meant nothing to me, so maybe that's why I felt it was unnecessary and shoehorned in. But now I see that.
But you could have had cribbins with the streets full of life as well.
Oh no, I liked that. I liked the whole 2 Christmases running, London has copped it, so we're all fucking off for the month.
No, I thought that was interesting. I think for a long part of the episode, I thought they weren't ever going to come back to that. They did.
Oh, and they did it so well. Yeah, the only other person staying here is the Queen. God bless you, Mum. And then I thought that was so clever when it's like, we are heading straight for Buckingham Palace.
She did a great job.
I did quite like that as well.
The Queen was fantastic in this. I don't know why she doesn't do more television.
Yeah, well done, Queenie.
You don't know how high a bill she has. That's why after an hour, the Titanic started looking like, well, I can't think of anything as cheap as it looked as. I can't think of an analogy.
A dinghy.
Yeah. It just, when it started turning towards Earth, it suddenly was like, you didn't finish the rendering on this shot.
Oh, really? Oh, maybe not when it was going down. But when it came up and just very gently glides over the palace.
The money shot.
Yeah, the money shot I thought looked really nice.
Yes.
That was
yes,
nice.
It did.
I was half surprised that they didn't choose to have the Titanic crash into like a big ice planet or something.
That's a very good point.
Well, it'd be ridiculous, but
That is good. There wasn't even a hint of ice.
No.
Well, we have the Hoth couple, Foon Hoth.
Oh,
Van Hoff.
Yeah.
I thought
not
it was.
tenuous at all.
Yeah, okay. sorry.
I enjoyed this as a beautiful homage, though, to something that was a big part of my team.
What was that?
Everyone goes through the phase where really watch over and over again that episode of Futurama where they're on the Titanic. It's amazing.
A Flight to Remember.
Yes!
Yes, big part of my
A
adolescence.
title to remember as well.
We do have yet another Jesus pose.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh,
and
man.
this time flanked by angels.
Bearing him heavenwards.
Yeah, and that suddenly start glowing. Why do they start glowing? Anyway, that doesn't matter.
And they did Superman fists.
Yes, they did, and that's a super drawn out sequence.
Yeah.
As he ascends. Very, very poorly done, I thought.
They needed this episode to be cut by much. Maybe 5 minutes?
Yeah, just trim it a little bit.
And plus, for a Christmas episode, you don't want him ascending. That's completely inappropriate to the time of year. You want him being birthed. Clearly.
It's true.
Oh, they could have done
Otherwise,
that.
it's just blasphemy. Christmas special 2016.
Okay. Where do we go from that?
So long. One of my major problems with the episode is the amount of overuse of that whole falling away from the camera, flailing up. That happened 4 times, I think.
Did we get that 4 times?
We had it with both Hoffs, with Kylie, and I'm sure with someone else as well. Or maybe I'm just thinking of 42, where Martha is falling away from the side of the ship. But we've had it before very recently in Doctor Who, and they thought, oh, that's poignant. Let's triple that. To the point where when Kylie was falling, I thought...
Oh, get on with it.
Yeah, all I could think of was not this again.
Yeah. Okay, so what did you think of Kylie's end? Because she doesn't die in that fall.
I felt like it would have just been the same killed her. You didn't really need to have like slightly wanky fake that she has. You know? And as I said to you when we watched the end of the episode, you just need to get Neil Gaiman in to fix this because she's a star child now or whatever. No, sorry, wrong movie.
Stardust.
Yes.
I'll tell you what I liked about that part
Go for
is that I had thought of the teleport bracelet as she was falling. But instead of her rocking up and saying, yes, I've... Sorry, that's New Zealand. Yeah, I found a way to activate my bracelet and here I am, and just saying what happened off screen. And us, thinking, well, of course we could see that coming along. The Doctor is the one to figure it out. The Doctor himself starts to close the plot hole or the plot possibility.
Yeah.
And once he did that, then I didn't know where we were going with it.
It was nice to see him much more cut up about that death than any of the other T was involved in this episode.
Yeah, but in the end, he does just sort of dance out of it. Like, he dances his way out of the episode, more or less.
You were just saying a minute ago how he frowned for 10 straight minutes and they needed to cut some of that.
Yeah, but then after he's done that, like after he's had his little frown, he laughs
After
when
he's
he's...
been to Frown Town.
Yeah, he goes to Frown Town and then he does the whole cockpit spiel and then everything seems pretty fine. Like, oh, fine, so now she's, cosmic sparkles. Everything's good. I don't know where I'm going next. Yeah, got my TARDIS back. Everything's great. Old dude's gonna be a rich man. Everyone's happy.
I also like the fact that he was a charlatan who'd graduated from Trump University.
Nice. Very good. Very, very good.
But that was weird. You've already mentioned how long he was given at the end of the episode, that the whole sort of resolution seemed to be, oh great, he's rich. His story has come good. That's what this was all about.
Head off into the Thames for some reason.
Yeah. Waste £1 million. I mean, that's not even that much. That'll buy you a house in Oxford.
All I need is my solid gold house. My rocket car.
Yeah, it really lost its way.
Yeah, it did.
But I did one person's slightly wanky fate for Kylie is another person's whimsical dream sequence.
That is true.
But do you think anyone's actually gonna buy that? Because she doesn't even seem to have conscience.
I would have bought it as a child.
I almost bought it when we watched it back. I thought, wow, Ghost Kylie, this is, like you said, he is desperate. And she's so nearly there. She's so nearly still alive. She was so nearly saved, and he's desperate for that to be made complete.
But she's not Ghost Kylie. It was him spreading the ashes rather than letting her spirit roam free through the cosmos. It was actually quite a sad thing.
Yeah, it was sad.
And then I don't know.
One final kiss, though.
Yeah, he did get the snog spirit Kylie.
Spirit Ghost Ash Kylie.
Doesn't have the mental capability to consent to it.
Another parallel.
I think the reason this, I think to be fair, the reason this plot point sort of didn't grab me was purely because I'd forgotten stuff coming up to it, so it came very much out of left field now. So when they were like, "Oh, I can bring her back," I was like, "For fuck's sake!" Pretty much. Whereas if I'd sort of realised more, probably coming.
I would have wanted him to have brought her back for her to survive, and then somehow I don't know. I mean, if I had enjoyed Russell Tovey's character more, then maybe those two could have gone off. But I would have wanted the Doctor to basically say, "Actually, no, I'm not ready for a new companion because I literally just left one."
Yeah.
That was 30 minutes ago, plus however the running time of this episode. And no, I'm not gonna just immediately switch to a new one. And then
if she is white and therefore fuckable in the Doctor's eyes, apparently.
Oh, you went there.
This is something we brought up before.
Yes, it is.
Right.
Yes, it is. He clearly has a type. Yeah. Either way, I liked that scene. I liked the kiss between them. I thought that was really cute, where she has to run to get the first aid kit to then stand. I thought that was adorable. And I loved the companion plea. Like the whole "Oh no, I'm unemployed. I have no one. It's just me. I could squeeze into that box." And also
and then I could come with you again and again.
I loved that entire scene. I thought that was really, really good.
I enjoyed when they were looking out the gaping hole in the ship. Oh, we need to talk about holes in the ship.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yes.
They're looking at dead bodies, and she's like, "So what's the body count?" And I really thought that David Tennant was about to start going, "1, 2." This would have been awesome. No, the other thing with holes in the ship was at the end when she flies out the window, which is going into the vacuum of space that no one's being sucked out of.
Yeah, absolutely agree with you.
But minus the innuendo, that's a bit of a point, isn't it?
Yes, because I mean, even if there's a shield, which I'm not sure there is. Wait, was there? Wait, hang on, there wasn't there? Because there's that scene with, oh, god damn it.
Oh.
Yeah. We watched this right before you arrived, Drews, and that was like
the baseball bat scene. Everybody suddenly turn into amazing baseball professionals and knock these lethal halos out the way like no one else thought to do. At any point, even though there are half a dozen angels winging them at us.
It felt very, very Tron
that was
to
nice.
me.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Oh,
have you not seen Tron?
I suck at being any kind of geek. I'm sorry.
Also, the halos do damage to people. They leave big blue impacts, markers when they hit, like in a video game, essentially.
Yeah.
And also Midshipman Frame was shot, which was enough to kill the Master,
but
even though
clearly
he shot
just
in the
walks
same place.
around.
Yeah, for the whole episode.
He walks around, no problem. Later on, he's gonna get busy with Captain Jack. Everyone's fine. He would have / should have bled out in this episode.
Yes. Why does Banakafalata have to talk in a weird, disjointed, non-English or pidgin English or
I took that to be because he's a foreigner, as in like he's an alien. To them, he's an alien.
So he's not from Stowe?
No. Well, clearly not. He's red and has spikes on his head. Everyone else looks exactly like a human being.
It's true.
Although, let's just say they're not humans. But yeah.
Yeah, but they'll speak perfect.
But he's clearly an alien. He's also the only... I mean, if we disregard the fact that they are not human, he's the only alien on board the ship.
Yeah, the only alien.
Isn't that kind of weird? He looks like a demon, basically.
He does look like a demon.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to be the villain the first time.
Oh, the angel versus demon sort of thing.
Yeah.
But holy shit. This has come up in other Christmas bonus episodes that we've done on Who Back When.
Oh.
He's red. This is a Christmas episode. There's always someone red. And the last one with Capaldi, it was the Robos, which was like the big red Robos, right? What else was there? The spider from Runaway Bride was red.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't remember what else there's been.
Yeah, I don't know. When he had his death scene, his English seemed to get even more broke.
Because he's struggling to speak, man.
Yeah, but he's like, and he's got this weird, that can't be his voice. They must have done something to modulate his voice and give it an echo as well. So if his voice is naturally high pitched because he's shorter than the average, then I'm sorry. But he when he's going, Banakafalata happy, it's a bit fucking much.
Yeah.
It's a total stereotype.
And And also, his battery goes to 0% once, and you can't charge him up again. What's up with that?
Well, I don't get that either, because doesn't it take a minute for that thing to recharge itself?
Yeah.
Wouldn't he just have sprung back to life 60 seconds later, unless someone had literally ripped his heart out of his body?
There's another thing. The Doctor is legitimately quite clever in this episode.
Oh.
I mean, he isn't when he's frittering away his 3 questions.
Yeah.
Saying, can I start again? Oh, bollocks. Are you sure? No, that sort of thing.
I hated that scene.
Yeah. But
That's the cliche.
yeah, that part definitely. But he did use logic rather than just, I'm brilliant because I got this wacky stick. He did actually figure out when he said, well, I'm not part of the crew and I'm not part of the passengers, so I'm a stowaway, so you can't
But
kill
we
me.
also had a conversation about this, because that is
He
100%
said-
illogical.
He said, you can't kill me, therefore I'm a stowaway.
I'm not a passenger, I'm not a star. Go on, scan me. You must have bio-records, no such person on board. I don't exist. Therefore, you can't kill me. Therefore, I'm a stowaway.
Yeah, instead of the other way around. I'm a stowaway, therefore you can't kill me. And by the way, that also doesn't necessarily have to be true.
Yeah.
Like, so you have to kill the people who are registered passengers, but that doesn't mean that you can't kill people who aren't.
And then he makes a vast logical leap from, you can't kill me, to, you have to follow my orders.
Yeah, and you have to take me to your leader. No, even though I will say I really enjoyed that he used that line, and that he then even subsequently commented on it himself.
Take me to your leader.
I've always wanted to say that.
But that was not an intelligent Doctor moment, I thought.
Well, okay, it could have been finessed, but I thought they were at least part of the way towards a fun, oh hey, the Doctor can actually use cleverness to think his way out of a situation.
You're right, he could use cleverness to think.
He was, if anything, I think this episode proved that he was a hero independent of his wizard stick. I mean, he gives it up. He gives it to Billy Zane, and then he still continues to be heroic, whereas in so many other episodes, he's solely heroic because he's wielding that thing.
What did you think of Billy Zane's character arc from, like, total douchebag to
Total douchebag.
to total douchebag to slightly grateful total douchebag?
With even more money.
Yes, I plan to retire to Mossack Fonseca too.
That's not the brothel planet populated by cyber sluts, is it, where Max is going?
Oh, Max, can you do a soundbite on Max? One thing he says. Sorry, we'll get back to
it. Is it the brothel planet comments?
No, it's...
You can't even sink the Titanic.
Oh, but I can, Doctor!
I thought that was archetypally villainous.
Oh.
Yes, I thought that was just beautiful.
Cartoonish. The brothel thing really kind of just got to me as well. Not because it's, this is weird. He wants to go to a brothel planet where people really dig that he's a cyborg. It's just like, wait, that's your plan? You want to kill an entire planet and then retire to get busy with a bunch of cyber fetishists?
Yeah, who really like metal.
Metal. Well, what does it help you?
Yeah, I mean, does he have a dick? And if so, does
Kenneth
he have
Branagh in Wild Wild West does.
And if so, does he have a cyborg dick that is linked up to his brain, and does he experience an actually pleasurable orgasm?
Presumably, but if that's the case, can't he just run some software on himself?
Yeah, he could just, yeah. We could all do that. But it's, the romance of going to the brothel is...
Okay, we've run out of something to say, but maybe Flappy can take over.
What ho, podcast land, Future Pumpkin here. Just to give you some context, yeah, I sort of recorded a mini conversation with the Flaphammer himself, Flappy, Flapjack, El Flappo, about this episode and about Doctor Who in general, a couple of days before the actual review. And here it is. The audio quality is pretty decent, albeit a bit on the Skype side, so apologies for that, as is probably the quality of this apologetic intro, so sorry about that as well. I'm just acknowledging all this up front, so no one needs to send me any complaint messages. Also, and this may mean nothing to the rest of the world, but Rory, I'm really sorry for including this apologetic intro. Okay, let's dive in. Bing bong.
We just lost Martha.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank fuck.
Oh, thank goodness. But then, unfortunately, she does
Thank
appear in
fuck.
the, next season on Doctor Who. We catch a glimpse of Martha.
Oh, can I tell you something I noticed as I was going through, and I thought Punkham will like this?
Oh, you most certainly can, Flappy.
This is the perfect forum.
Okay.
Do you remember that episode where, at the end of it, Rose is taken across the void into another universe? That one.
Of course.
Do you remember Aggie Freeman in that episode being like a data muncher for the Daleks? she has quite a reasonable extra part.
And it's explained away when she turns up in what's the episode called? Smith and Jones. When she turns up in that one, she says that she lost her cousin at the Battle of Canary Wharf.
Oh, come now. Oh dear. Well, at least they took it into account. I mean, obviously that was reverse engineered, but like...
Oh, massively retconned. Massively retconned.
At least they looked at it. I suppose they had a similar problem with Capaldi. Like, how the fuck are we going to explain this one?
By the way, that shot of him in Fires of Pompeii appears in the next season on Doctor Who.
Oh.
Yeah, after this episode. I was on the bus heading back from work today with like a raging erection going, fuck, that is Peter Capaldi in Fires of Pompeii. Everyone look at my boner.
It's a good thing you live in a really genteel city. If you were down in London, you'd have been stabbed to death.
Yeah, that sort of thing is frowned upon in London. Anyway, okay, so in Voyage of the Damned...
we're reviewing Voyage of the Damned, yeah.
And we don't have to go into intricate detail because, just to clarify, we haven't even done an introduction or anything. I'm going to be recording a proper review of this on Friday, but this is going to be added on to the end of that as sort of the bonus incentive. Yeah, you should definitely listen to our review because at the end of that, like at the end of the rainbow, there sits Flappy dressed as all in green with a funky hat and a weird beard.
Oh, you remember my stag do? Brilliant. That did actually happen. That's a fairly accurate description.
It did. We come into this episode having just left Martha.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and I mean, Martha left because she was massively discarded by the Doctor. The Doctor who could not stop kicking her in the vagina, like every chance he got.
Well, and she was also massively unqualified to be a companion.
Yeah, she wasn't adventurous enough, she wasn't...
good at acting enough.
She was, well, I mean, she was intelligent, but she wasn't...
Oh, I never bought that for a second. Oh, I'm a doctor. I'm training to be a doctor. It just didn't work for me, I'm sorry. Like, it just took me out of the moment every time she spoke. It's quite nice to look at. Give her that.
But what? Oh, you massive sexist. Wow. So I can remember a few occasions during her season when I genuinely thought, wait, she wasn't that bad an actress, but probably the writing was never very good, like the writing of the companion.
Give me an example of good actressing.
How about in Human Nature?
Remind me of the plotline.
So Human Nature is the one where Tennant needs to escape these weird, crazy aliens.
The one where he forgets he's the Doctor.
Exactly.
So, yeah. She was slightly better in that, I suppose. This is
well,
not
she's
a
still good to look
misogynist
at, though.
This is not a misogynist point. Like,
okay.
There have been many good actresses in Doctor Who. Kylie Minogue is not one of them, but there have been many.
I thought that Kylie Minogue did a spiffing job.
No. I have to disagree with you there. I thought she had very little presence.
Well, she's not an actress, but, I mean, for what she did, for what she was meant to do, she was good, wasn't she?
She was in Neighbours for years. She is an actress. She was an actress before she was a pop star.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, in that case, I'm a little bit disappointed, but...
She's an Australian soap star.
I didn't know she was a soap star. I only knew her as a singer and, MILF.
Oh, so you remember in like the late 80s when she had that whole thing with Jason Donovan? That was all born out of that. Oh my god, dude! That's what she's mostly famous for, like her big era in pop. Anyway, that whole thing was born out of their relationship on screen in Neighbours.
Right.
Yeah, so like she should be better than this, quite considerably better than this.
Well, I mean, what did she have to do in this episode? She had to be kind of scared, she had to be charming, she had to be adventurous and take charge, and then at the end, the one thing that she really failed at, for me, was the end when she's like, I'm going to sacrifice myself, which was a ridiculous scene.
There was a lot of that going on.
But the rest I thought was really nice. I loved the kiss, for example. I love that she had to go and get some like box to stand on, and was like, oh, we've got a tradition where I'm from. Here we go, kiss. And also, for the first time, after a season of neglecting Martha Jones, the Doctor gets one kiss from Kylie Minogue and immediately goes, Sonic boner alert, what am I gonna do?
Yeah, he's got fire in his pants.
Yes, you can be the new companion.
Well, if you remember earlier in the episode, one of the first time they speak, she says to him, you look good for 903, and he says, you should see me in the morning.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. She's like...
Okay. Just pretty much immediately offers to sleep with him. And then he's like, yep, you're the new companion. That's happening.
Exactly. While Martha spent an entire, more than a year of our time trying to bed the Doctor and failing miserably.
Yeah, I know. Yep, MILF.
Okay, what did you think of the robot angels?
I thought they were a good plot device, and I thought they stayed true to their characters.
Why did they look like angels?
Well, yeah, quite. And also, why do they keep telling people that they're about to kill them?
Surely that information.
It inhibits their ability to kill them. Better if they had the element of surprise and sort of, pretended to be friendly before trying to slice off their head. And also, I am not happy that could slice off people's heads. When they throw it at people, it seems to minor cut them.
Well, either that or give them a shock. There's one dude who gets one in the face, and that clearly, you imagine it's teen slasher movie style, it just sticks in the head, right?
Yeah. So the guy who's trapped.
Exactly, that dude.
Yeah, the crewman who's trapped, yeah.
Exactly.
I imagine that took his head off.
Yeah, well, okay, fine. I was imagining that it's sort of at a diagonal stuck inside his cranium.
But at the very least, killed him in one shot.
Exactly, and that it has the effect of a blade, right? It's like an axe to the face. But then later on, they're playing baseball with these rings, at the massive standoff towards the end.
Yeah, I remember it well.
And these rings, they're not it seems like they're radio guided, they're whizzing around.
They have sonar or something. And,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it hits all of them. Well, it's at least Kylie and the Doctor.
Yeah, and it doesn't cut them.
Have any effect.
No, I think it shocks them.
They go, ooh.
Yeah, exactly. I think it shocks them.
Yeah. But overall, I was quite happy with the angels. They're not evil beings. They're not benevolent either. They just do as they're told. And I thought they were a very useful plot device for that reason.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Nice one.
Yeah. I had a problem with something else, though.
Is it the kid on the bridge? Because I hate him.
That problem's name is Russell Tovey.
Yes.
That guy
which is definitely...
he is such a tool.
I hate him. He's possibly the worst actor ever.
Yeah. We've discussed him before.
Yeah. Can I just show you on Skype what my line was when he turned up? Top line.
Oh no, not that fucker who can't act. I think we've talked about him before.
Yeah,
so
because he was a potential Doctor.
Oh, God.
Yeah, do you remember when, right before Capaldi became the Doctor?
Oh, were we discussing him as a potential Doctor? Christ.
Well, he was on the list. All the bookies had all these different actors, and we were going through the list of actors that the bookies had, and Russell Tovey was one of them.
Now, I quite liked Being Human. Did you ever watch Being Human?
Yeah, as per your recommendation, and I loved the shit out of that show, but he was terrible. He was the bad part of it.
Yeah, it was Mitchell and Annie that made it. I mean, Aidan Turner's gone on to be quite a good actor.
Yeah.
But yeah, Russell Tovey was appalling. And also, his name was only Alonso, quite clearly, so the Doctor could shoehorn in that line.
Yeah.
Alonso. And actually, this was symptomatic of the episode. It was a little bit twee. The Christmas episodes often are a little bit twee, and it's like a nice little break from the very serious storyline of John Sim, and then we're going into Catherine Tate, so it's light but then heavy. And this whips up the souffle a little. For me, the Christmas episodes can go this way sometimes. There can be little catchphrases, there can be little running 10-year-old jokes and stuff. And this episode had a few of those characteristics. That's not to say I didn't enjoy the episode. I mean, I really did enjoy it.
I really enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to hate on it, because I don't, but there were a few moments where I was like, oh, this is like sitting around with my family at 3:00 in the afternoon on a Sunday kind of comedy.
Yeah, but despite being a fairly upbeat, optimistic, positive and fun episode, it also has its dark moments.
Yeah, I hate that.
Which is pretty good, I think, and fairly uncommon for Christmas episodes. That's one of the things that we really...
the suicide.
Yeah, I mean, fucking kamikaze Australian singer-actresses.
And that lady who's, the fat lady.
The fat lady, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was terribly sad. Like, that whole series of events.
I agree.
Just...
Yeah, I agree. It was so sudden when her husband, who was super charming, by the way...
Yeah, he was.
His screen presence was overwhelmingly positive for me.
And it was killing Kylie, yeah.
when he died, when he suddenly just fell off the cliff thingy, into the engine, right?
Yeah, I loved the engine, by the way.
The engine was beautiful.
The engine was beautiful. I paused on the engine. It was just like, oh my god, that's incredible.
Is that where you came? So
It's such a it's an early Star Trek engine room.
It feels like it, yeah.
Complete with a bridge that you can wander across and fall from.
Yeah, it gave me vibes partly from Star Wars, from Jedi, when the Emperor is thrown off, when Vader throws the Emperor down the engine thingy or whatever. And partly from the second ever New Who episode. What's it called? End of the World?
Meh.
Because in End of the World, the Eccleston episodes, when it's like they're going to witness the detonation of the Earth or whatever.
Yeah.
They go into a room, which I believe JD referred to like the well-ventilated room of death, because it's just like this unnecessary murder room. Which somehow is part of the intricate engineering of some spaceship. And here it's the same. It's like, you could very clearly not have a rickety drawbridge over the fucking collapsed star that powers this ship. Like, why not just put a floor down?
Even just a bit of tarp, just anything.
Anything. Literally anything.
Yeah, it's very poor design principles, but one that seems to have been employed in sci-fi for the last 50 years.
So long.
Yeah, apparently in the space age, they're really not worried about falling off shit.
Not at all.
Health and safety has gone out the window. Brexit has happened. All the regulations have been taken back. We don't want any of your European health and safety here.
Oh, it's so sad. Why am I laughing?
Yeah, it's so sad. Like, it really is. That's where we're headed. We're headed off a bridge,
I know.
into an engine, to the middle of a collapsed star. I think that's a way of summing it up. So you didn't like Russell Tovey then?
I hated Russell Tovey. I've hated him in everything I've ever seen him in. I mean, I hated him in that one episode of Sherlock. I certainly hated him in Being Human.
But I do believe this is his worst performance.
Why? Oh, no, I think the episode of Sherlock, Hound of the Baskervilles, I think that's his worst one.
But he was playing a kind of demented, simple person, which kind of suits him. I mean, that is Russell Tovey. So, like, when he was stuttering all over his lines and just pulling weird faces, it kind of worked. It was hammy. Like, the Hound of the Baskervilles should be a bit hammy. Anyway, this is not a Sherlock review.
No, nor is it the Russell Tovey show. No, I can very easily have enough of Russell Tovey. And I really felt like I had my fill. Like, the second he appeared on screen, I just went like, where have I seen that guy before? I know I've got him in my hate bank. Like, where is that from? Oh, it's that guy. Like, the second he appeared and I recognized him for the shit that he has pulled on screen, I knew that I would not like the episode as much.
And bizarrely, he gets a call back. Like, just as the Doctor's dying, he's one of the last people you see. The Doctor sets him up with Captain Jack.
Wait, what?
Like, yeah. So when the Doctor's saying goodbye to everyone, he goes to, like, a weird bar, and it's very, like, Star Wars-y, like the first Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's that kind of bar, and Captain Jack's in there, and he, like, points to Russell Tovey and says, his name's Alonso. And, like, that's the start of a great romance, we're told.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Like, what a guy to pick for a fucking last callback.
And for such a legend as Captain Jack.
I know, right?
Captain Jack Harkness deserves better than bloody Alonso.
Well, Captain Jack's the top in that relationship, so, he'll get his kicks.
Power top, I believe. But yeah.
Yeah, power top. And also, I love how they made his character gay, just because he's gay in real life.
I knew neither.
I'm pretty sure that's why they did it.
Wait. Okay.
Because what? Because...
How is Alonso anything? Like, I didn't know that he was sexual in any way.
Yeah. Why is he in some weird bar? Like, why did they pick him at all? It was just to match him up with Captain Jack.
Oh, wait, sorry. So you're referring to that last episode of Tenants?
Yes.
I see. Because in this episode, he is asexual.
Yeah, he is in this episode. It's just in that last Tennant episode.
In my mind, I'm trying to rattle through all the other characters that, like all the, like the side character, the ancillary characters that the Doctor has encountered over however many years Tennant was on the show. What was it? 3 years? 4 years? 3 years? 3 years, I think.
Yeah, maybe 4, actually.
Yeah? So
06 to 10, maybe. Yeah.
Right, okay. So
Whatever.
4 years.
Yeah.
Either way, like, he's met so many characters.
Yeah.
Why would he recommend Russell Tovey over all of them? Surely there must have been someone who was more charming, more intelligent, and, I don't know, I guess more take-chargey to suit Captain Jack's temperament that he encountered and who survived. Sorry?
They did have a better option, which was they should have got Captain Jack to meet up with the face of Bo and have sex with himself in the face. And that would have been perfect. Like, that would have been the perfect sign-off for Captain Jack.
Ending on the face.
Who is good enough for Captain Jack? Well, the face of Bo is good enough for Captain Jack, and that is the only person.
I was thinking possibly Mickey Ricky.
No, that wouldn't have worked at all, dude.
Why?
Because he's clearly not gay. He's besotted with Rose.
He might be bi, and I mean, Captain Jack is not.
Martha. He's with Martha. Don't you remember? He and Martha get together. They get married, dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, stop spoiling future New Who for me, dude.
What the fuck are you talking about? You haven't seen the end of David Tennant?
Yes, I have, but I saw it when it aired on TV fucking years ago, man.
Sorry, you'll just have to yield to my superior Who knowledge.
Yeah, well, evidently. Right, okay,
anyway, I've got a discussion point if you would like one, but bring one up by all means. You sounded like you were starting.
No, well, I was about to round this off. So, yeah, let's do that, and let's round the episode off with that discussion point. This better be good, dude.
I just briefly wanted to discuss the old dude.
Which old dude?
So
the
old dude they're going
Earthonomist.
around with. Yeah, the Earthonomics professor.
Yeah.
Now, my first point, and this isn't really a salient point.
Okay.
Surely it's Earthology, because it's clearly an art subject. If you're studying the customs and cultures of a place, which clearly is what his degree's in, because that's what he claims to know about, although it turns out he doesn't. That's clearly an art subject, and it's Earthology. It can't be Earthonomics. That would make it a scientific study. So he would be studying, like, the topography of Earth and, like, tectonic plate shifts and shit.
Earthology might as well be, an ology could be biology, herbology, etc., etc.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Could that not be scientific as well? Earthology definitely sprang to mind while I was watching it as well, thinking like that's the go-to name. That's what you automatically assign the science of Earth, the study of Earth, but if you're an alien. But maybe that's why they went a different direction. Like, Earthonomics just sounds much more... It's just cleverer, isn't it? Like, it took someone a few seconds longer to think of that.
And also, we shouldn't forget, this dude is making everything up. So it's quite believable that he made up the wrong name. I have a degree in Earthonomics.
Yeah, from a university that also does dry cleaning.
Yeah, absolutely. But maybe the real degree that these people should get is in Earthology, and this guy's just freewheeling. He's just like, yeah, masters in Earthonomics, yeah. The point I wanted to make, because it is like, the big end to the episode.
Yeah.
He's left on Earth, yeah?
Mm.
He's left on Earth with
I know.
a credit card that has £1 million on it, right?
Yeah. A credit card that is pertaining to which bank?
Whose name is this in?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, which bank? How the fuck is he ever going to claim this money? For one. Two, he's in London, and he thinks he's going to get a house with a garden.
For £1 million.
And live For £1 million? Fucking dream on,
No,
sunshine.
he doesn't know. But it's realistic to assume that for £1 million, if he could actually use this credit card, like, imagine that this credit card is like a bus pass, right? Like, so he can use it anyway. He just like flings it around in front of someone's face, just like waves it around, and that then entitles him to a bunch of money. So he could conceivably take a bus somewhere up north and then like buy a house with a garden and probably enough, I don't know, frankfurters to last him a lifetime.
Say he can obtain the funds,
Yeah.
So he can get them out somewhere. This guy is not on the grid. He hasn't got a national insurance.
He doesn't have a
number,
name. He has nothing. How is he going to buy stuff? Where are you from? Oh, I'm from Great Germany.
So he's going to have to go, I was thinking, to the Cayman Islands or somewhere like that. Like,
But he doesn't know that he has to. And how is he going to get there?
He doesn't know about tax laws.
He knows nothing. But also...
He's going to end up in prison on Earth, which is a great irony, given that that's what he was trying to escape from.
That's not what pissed me off the most. What really, really ticked me off was that after this epic adventure that has seen the Doctor get a hard-on for and then have his heart broken by the death of Kylie Minogue, and all the drama, and having been waved at by the Queen, and all of this stuff, he has saved 6 billion lives. The moral of the story is, if you got money, you're good.
Yeah.
Happy ending, because the old dude, who, by the way, committed fraud, has illegally obtained funds.
God, he really is evil, this guy, isn't he? And also, I want to make the point, his final line is, Doctor, I won't forget her. But then the Doctor forgets her forever. She never comes up again. He doesn't shed a single tear.
That's where the Christmas episode element of it comes in for me. The whole, like, oh, she's Stardust, and we even see the little sparkles in the sky. It's like, oh, it's such nonsense, isn't it? Oh, she's an echo of something. But, well, if the computer can materialize her in front of you and make her translucent, then surely the computer can just make her alive again. That's A. And B, what a senseless waste of life. And then, what, she's now sentient sparkles living in the universe? Like, it's such garbled nonsense.
So obviously the natural thing to compare that to is, do you remember River Song in the library, the first time the Doctor meets River Song in the library?
Yeah.
And you've got those, like, things around their heads that, like, hold on to life for, I don't know, like a minute, and then they start repeating themselves. Like, I guess it was a similar system to that. Like, where you can't actually get back, but you, like, listen to an echo of them, and you can actually have a conversation with that echo. And maybe that's where the idea for that started. Possibly, I don't know.
Do you think maybe?
I assumed it was a similar system because, well, he's fucking with the computer and he's like rewiring shit to even get the translucent version. So, I don't know, maybe. I don't know, yeah. As you said, Christmas, Stardust, bollocks. Yeah.
Overall, thumbs up, thumbs down, and what would you give this on a scale from 0.0 to 5.0?
Okay, well, it's certainly a thumbs up. I enjoyed the ride, and yeah, I don't know, there were some twee moments in there. There were some moments where I self-consciously felt like I was watching a children's show, which is not something I ever really get from watching New Who, anyway.
Interesting, because I felt the exact opposite. This felt
really?
like...
What?
Yeah, this felt like...
Because of all the suicides?
No, because of the whole, like, the setup of we have to get from point A to point B on what is effectively a sinking ship by a certain time in order to save a bunch of lives and avoid an explosion. Like, it felt like John McClane could have starred in this episode. It was like Jean-Claude Van Damme in Sudden Death, except it's in space on a ship and Kylie Minogue is in it.
Yeah, I guess it was just the tone, and it was the fact that Kylie Minogue was in it. I mean, that brought me back down to earth in that way. But I did enjoy, I mean, for all the reasons we've discussed, I did enjoy this. So I'm going to give it a flappy 3.6. That's like a 3.6 plus. So, you know.
I really, really enjoyed this one. I'm not going to do a whole review because I probably will after a much more lengthy conversation on Friday, and I may very well revise my score. But I would, at this point in time, I'd give this like a 3.8.
Solid.
Solid. 3.9? No. I would give it a 3.9, except because of the dwarf shaming, I'm giving this a 3.8.
Oh, yeah. What was his name? Balacafalata? Or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah. Say his name.
Balacafalata.
Did you say that with like a Swedish accent?
Balacafalata. Oh, I can't remember.
Okay. It sounds like a cake when you say it.
Oh, thanks. Not like balaclava. No,
Very
balaclava
sweet.
is the thing
Or
that you use when you rob banks.
baklava.
Baklava. That's what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, baklava.
Dude Meister, are you still active on Twitter? Would you like people to follow you on it?
I tweet just as much as I used to, yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen of Podcast Land, don't expect to hear much from Flappy, but if you want to say hi to him, you can. He is on Twitter, and he is at One Too Many Mornings?
One Too Many Mornings. Yeah, that's right.
Bada bing. Well, it was lovely.
Well remembered.
It was lovely. It was lovely. It was lovely having you on the show, Flappy.
Oh, it's beautiful being back. Sexual.
Sexual.
It was nearly sexual.
Stop by Oxford sometime and let's record something live.
This is live, dude. I mean...
It's not the same thing. You know what I mean.
So we can smoke our vapes together?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe we could even touch vapes.
Oh, that would be sexual. And it should be noted that we both have sonic screwdriver vapes.
We do.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to press stop on this recording.
All right.
Catch you on the flap side, dude.
Yeah, catch you on the flap side.
There you have it. Wasn't that great? Okay, shall we jump into ratings?
Reviews.
Shall I go first?
If you want to.
Okay. On a night like this, I could review forever, but here's my summary. I can't say I wouldn't change a thing about this episode, but I was shocked how bad it was in places. Put yourself in my place, Kylie. I believe in you, but to convince me as an actress, you need to do better than today. I wish I could say please stay, because it's better the devil you know, but I'm giving you up, so get out of my way. This episode was too slow. They missed an obvious trick, not referring to the Doctor's Two Hearts, which was a Kylie song that she released a month before this episode.
What?
She released this in November 2007. They didn't mention it once.
Oh, where were you when they were penning this episode?
Exactly. Neither did she reference his ability to step back in time.
Exactly.
Like you said earlier. Also, there should have been more shots of the Titanic spinning around. It left me craving chocolate, but I should be so lucky. So, Rory,
I can't believe you did that without preparing.
yes.
You just rattle this stuff off. Imagine if you prepared, you'd be so good.
Oh, God, yeah.
Well-
A little preparation goes a long way.
Well, see, what I did was memorized it, but now I can't get it out of my head. Quack, quack, quack. Anyway. Yeah. Okay, to be serious, large swathes of this episode were great, I thought. It was funny in places. There were good lines. It was affecting. The action was often good. The pacing wasn't too bad for the first hour, and then after that was abysmal. But you know what? More than anything else, we have to give RTD serious credit. 13.31 million people watched a recently resurrected, old-school, sci-fi, fairly niche sort of children's show, and he put it slap bang in the middle of the Christmas schedules. The man, just for his commercial nous alone, deserves, a fair few points. The supporting characters wore thinner as the episode wore on. After 20 minutes, I was thinking, wow, they set these guys up really well. And then after that, it was like a relief whenever anyone was bumped off. I thought Kylie was okay, but they could have given us some more to do rather than just be doe-eyed and adored sort of thing. But it was fun on the whole, and poor David Tennant...
It always is.
And poor David Tennant lost his mother during this episode.
Oh, my goodness. Really?
Yeah, he did. She died.
Oh, my goodness.
And he acted around that and put in his best performance for well over a series. So props to you, David. We feel for you, buddy.
Yeah, I'm very sorry to hear that.
I'm going to give this a 3.2.
All right. Do you want to go or shall I go?
Oh dear God, I better just wing this because I've lost the extensive notes I made on this. I don't know what I did with them. But,
Come on, you can do better than this.
I know I can be better than this, but I need some constructive advice on how to be better than this, I'm afraid. So, and actually, no, you're wrong. I can't be better than this. This is as good as I am. which is why I'm only on one in every 60 episodes. I'm not good at spontaneously making up episode reviews, so I'll just say that I quite enjoyed this. I thought it was a bit slow in places and a bit offensive in places. I'm giving it I'll be generous, I'll give it 3.1 out of 5.
Ooh. Okay. Well, I'm not going to revise my score from the mini Flappy review, so I'm giving this, I'll say why in a second, but I'm giving this a 3.8. Because I really enjoyed this episode, and actually, you kind of opened my eyes to something that I hadn't really considered earlier, that, yeah, they didn't do very much with the Kylie character, but I really liked her. Actually, to use your word, I sort of adored her as a prospective companion, but now I realize I didn't really get to see her do very much with that. But I do think that she had potential, and I think that she did what little was given to her. I think she did that very well.
I think she did much better than she did in the episode of The Vicar of Shoe.
There's so many things in that sentence I have no idea about. Okay, so aside from all the schmaltz, and aside from all the comic relief that was popped into this episode, it was actually a fairly effective thriller episode to me. It's a sinking ship thing. It's like a Die Hard-esque kind of scenario. A tiny little group of people needs to struggle against terrifying odds to survive.
I felt like it was referencing or owed slightly more to the Poseidon adventure.
Yeah, you're right.
Than the actual movie Titanic.
100%.
The event Titanic.
And how did it stack up against the?
I don't know, because I really can't remember even whether I liked the Poseidon adventure.
I've not even seen
memory
this
from my childhood, but it just sort of seemed reminiscent of it. I don't.
I've not even seen it, but I know what it's about, and I think that's 100% true. That's definitely a better reference. Yeah, in fact, they could have called this the Poseidon rather than the Titanic.
Yeah.
But I liked it. I thought it was really, really good as far as Christmas episodes go. I just could have done without all the schmaltz that we've already discussed, all the stupid things that we've already discussed. So 3.8 overall. There's one little thing that we haven't discussed, and that we should probably just pop in a tiny little mention of. We get to see a preview of the next season of Doctor Who, and in that preview, we get to see, Donna Noble. We get to see just a glimpse of Martha Jones. Very interesting.
Between larger characters, presumably get more screen time than her.
Probably. We get to see the Ood. Very exciting stuff.
Nasty Ood, angry Ood.
And we
Cribbins!
And Cribbins, and
Big Wasp!
And
Sontarans!
And
Rory?
Peter Capaldi.
Ta-da! We get to see Peter Capaldi in Pfizer Pompeii.
It's amazing they had the foresight to put in a couple of doctors down the line. That's some real seeding there. I'm amazed.
Yeah, when Russell Tovey's the doctor after Capaldi, then you'll blow your lid.
Oh no. Around about the same time that Haley Joel Osment is the new James Bond. But like that.
Yeah.
Regardless, super cool. And that preview, even though I did not like what little we got to see of Donna Noble in that, I'm looking forward to hopefully being proven wrong. But I really didn't like it. That being said, the season looked awesome to me.
I would say that seemed also a bit fillerish, though, because that was a very long preview. It was like the end of Back to the Future 2, where the last 5 minutes is the entirety of Back to the Future 3. Or at least all the best bits.
Yes! Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, by the way, this was released in memory of Verity Lambert.
Yeah, who is Verity Lambert?
The initial producer / I believe you can legitimately credit her as the creator of Doctor Who.
Wow.
She was the very first producer on the show.
She's one of the more legendary BBC
producers in general,
you just see her name on so many things.
Yeah.
My favourite, which being Jonathan Creek. Yay.
Oh, really? Oh, wow, I didn't know that. Very cool.
There are just two things that I've forgotten to say entirely up to this point.
Okay.
The thing I like most about Kylie's performance, probably, you could see in her eyes how the Doc's lines have worked on vulnerable, wistful ladies all across the universe.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, absolutely. How he just zips from planet to planet every half hour or so, apparently bedding someone new.
Oh, clearly.
Yeah, that really added up in terms of her performance. And also, he was ready to get her into the TARDIS right then and there, but at the end, Mr. Copper saying, "Do you want a harmless old friend?" The Doctor's like, "Well, I know, mate."
He went into that.
Yeah.
Always alone. Forever alone.
I think if you pause it just right, you can tell that as he says that, he is looking at the guy's bald head. Just like, no, I wouldn't. I absolutely wouldn't.
Listener minis.
And we've got a listener mini as well, and it's a first time mini review. This one comes from Tracy. Hello, Tracy. Thank you very much for sending this in.
Yeah, for stepping into the breach where thousands didn't, sending in a mini for a new who. Bless you, Tracy.
The first of many, we hope. Do you want to start off?
I am Tracy. Here's my mini. Overall, a fantastic episode with a few small nitpicks. It starts a bit slow. Based on the title and the ship's name, something terrible is about to happen. Get to it! Next point, Doc doesn't need to explain himself to the host. Tell me again, because I'm stupid. It's a friggin' robot.
We get going and the story really moves well. Adventure, excitement, I care about the characters and despise Mr. Snobby Moneybags. As per my usual, I love David Tennant. He's appropriately brilliant, heartbroken, or jubilant. I find Astrid charming, and giggled when she called Doc a Time King from Galaby, which, editorial note, I also liked.
Yeah, very, very good.
Nice plot point about Banakafalata, well written out, being a cyborg, which comes around later to inform Max's motivation. She doesn't write this, but did anyone else think that Max was a cross between Davros, Brum, and Wall-E?
It all suddenly comes together.
Yeah. I bet you were wondering, which three is he like? Not even sure if old Doc recognises the implications of anti-cyborg bigotry, seeing as Astrid had that interaction with Banakafalata solo. She's clearly a really decent person. By the way, I notice it's ladies, gentlemen, Banakafalata. Is this character a third gender? Getting shit for being a cyborg and non-gender conforming? I could understand him wanting to at least have his name said.
Yeah, very interesting point. And Tracy goes on, finishing up, while I like the poignant ending, I am sad Astrid didn't get to be a companion. Yes, agreed. I feel worse, however, for Mr. Copper, who asks to be a companion, and Doc is like, yeah, no.
He could have been hanging with Mr. Copper!
Oh, wouldn't you want to see that show? Tracy goes on, only pretty young women then. Would Mr. Copper have been happier with a doctor than changing his name to Bucket and marrying Hyacinth?
Nice.
I guess we'll never know. And we get a rating of Velvet.
Is that because it's smooth and desirable?
With?
I was looking at you guys, like, hoping that this is some Britishism that I don't get.
Yeah, it's slang for the number 4. I like that as a, like, what
I like
would
that too.
be above velvet silk now?
Yeah, maybe.
Gossamer.
Oh.
Say Gossamer again, that was great.
Gossamer.
Galaxy of Mr. Trick.
That was an awesome mini review. Very interesting point about the whole Banakafalata possibly being neither lady nor gentleman.
I think I took that to mean the Doctor isn't sure what Banakafalata's gender is.
Very interesting.
Although
possible. Or possibly just, like, I mean...
presenting as a dude.
Presenting?
Presenting, yes. We'll go with that. I said it and I'm continuing. But no, it's never, like, verified, is it?
That's very, very true. I thought he refers to himself, or she refers to herself in the third person. Like, it's Banakafalata is a cyborg. Banakafalata, I can't remember any phrases, but, like,
Banakafalata is going on a date with Kylie Minogue.
Yeah. Banakafalata is getting married to Kylie Minogue.
Yeah.
Legally, we are already married. But yeah, I think maybe it played into that.
Maybe so. Yeah.
Regardless, very interesting point. Yeah, made us think. Awesome mini review. Thank you very much.
You know what I did miss, though?
What's
Tracy
that?
reminded me. Banakafalata, he pulls up his shirt and flashes everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I say his shirt. Pulls up Banakafalata's shirt.
There you go.
Sorry. Corrected.
I'm going to get someone to pull on his hernia.
Wow.
Cool. All right. Well,
I think we've sunk that battleship.
Hey.
anyone got any interesting plugs or want people to say hi to them online? Drew, are you online?
I am online. You can follow me on Twitter at DrewBackWhen. Do you want me to sing it in Elvis style?
If you want to, go for it.
There's one thing that you all need is a DrewBackWhen in your Twitter feed, so follow.
Beautiful. Rollmeister.
As usual, you can always follow me in the street. Failing that, I think I make that joke every time on this joke. Failing that, I'm something on Twitter.
At Retro Metronome.
Yeah.
As you may remember this.
Because I never go on Twitter, really. I usually check it. I haven't tweeted at all. In recent years, so like if you want like an annual tweet from me to see what I'm up to, good luck.
Yeah, just to see if it's been funny this year.
Yeah, basically I have absolutely fuck all internet presence besides this podcast.
Keep going.
And the other soon-to-be maybe released podcast if I ever get round to editing the fucker.
I was going to say, if you're not going to plug it, I'm going to plug it.
Are Thunderbirds going to be edited?
Maybe. No, maybe they'll just go out unedited. They really shouldn't. Yeah, sorry, you can't. Well, no, you don't. There are some great There's some great reviews I wrote for Waterstones for work that they got published on the internet. That was great.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, that was gold.
Why aren't you on more of the internet?
I found my niche, okay?
And yeah, if you want to, you can high-five me online. I will high-five you right back. I am at Punkin. Here's a soundbite of JD singing how you spell that.
Punken. Punkin.
Thanks, JD. But yes, really, to plug that, there is an upcoming Thunderbirds podcast called Thunderbirds Are Going to Be Reviewed, hosted by Rory, co-hosted by me. And any day now, I mean...
Any day now, I'm going to, like, listen to one of the episodes and think about what might need edited, yes.
Well, we don't know what people are listening to this, so you know what? Go out and look for it. It might already be out there.
We might make this the first ever podcast to be completed before being edited or published.
Anyway, that's it, I think. So thank you very much for listening. Catch you in the next one. Rock on and ciao.
Bye.
Kablamo! Did you enjoy the show? Then please do what the cosmos compels you to and spread the gospel of Who Back When. Tell your friends. Don't have any friends? No problemo. Tell some strangers. Like us on Facebook. That's facebook.com/Who Back When. All in one word. Are you on Google Plus? Then find us on Google Plus. That's plus Who Back When. And when you do, tell us why you're on Google Plus. Who Back When just got its very own Twitter account, no lie, so give us a follow. You guessed it, that's at Who Back When, all in one word. Check us out on SoundCloud, vote us up on Reddit, listen to us on Stitcher, and head on over to our website, whobackwhen.com, where you can leave a comment, submit a review of your own, and peruse our visual index of aliens, monsters, and more, which increases in kablamos with every episode. And lastly, give us a rating and review on iTunes. Not only would it make us super chuffed, and it really, really would, but as thanks, we will transmigrate your iTunes nom de plume into the credit list of trailers for fake Doctor Who audiobooks produced by Who Back When. Have a poke around our bonus episodes to make more sense of that. That's it. Rock on and be rad and excellent to each other. Catch your earballs in our next classic Who review, new Who review, or, still funny, audio Who review. Ciao.
Who Back When?